This is Vader Reviews. We are honored that you would join us. You know, I've been running myself ragged lately hunting down rebel scum, making weekly videos, and working on our upcoming fan film, Fallen Jedi. And I've discovered even Sith Lords need to take a break from time to time. So I decided to take a little trip down memory lane and discuss my top 5 Star Wars video games. Now when it comes to lists of these sorts, it all depends greatly on your own point of view. So these are games I personally have fond memories of playing as a youngling. If you can, do yourself a favor and hunt them down. With the veritable bounty of Star Wars titles to choose from, let's kick things off with number 5. A LucasArts classic that's a Beskar steal. Star Wars Bounty Hunter, featuring the manly Mandalorian, Jango Fett. Yes sir, there's nothing quite like hunting down the scum and villainy of the galaxy. I've reviewed the storyline to this game, so I'll leave a link to that video in the description. The cutscenes and story are part of what I love about this game, exploring the underworld and darker side of our beloved galaxy far, far away makes it feel like you're playing through a lost chapter of the Star Wars saga. Temuera Morrison's voice work and the writing are impeccable. From the gameplay to the graphics, everything was pushing the boundaries of what was possible at the time. I have a lot of fond memories tracking bounties across the crowded streets of Coruscant to the desert towns of my old stomping ground on Tatooine to shoot it out with Longo Two Guns and his gang. I highly recommend this game, particularly if you are a fan of the Mandalorian series and haven't played it yet. Do yourself a favor and track down Star Wars Bounty Hunter. It's not just the way, it is the only way. Ironically enough, coming in at number 4 is Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. Fun fact, Hayden Christensen went to the creative team at LucasArts and showed them the moveset he wanted Anakin Skywalker to have, based on the fight choreography he had learned for the feature films, and it shows. To this day, this is the best lightsaber combat of any Star Wars game I've ever played. From the graphics and character likenesses to the multiplayer duel mode, Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith stands alongside The Lord of the Rings, Return of the King, and Spider-Man as one of the greatest movie tie-in games of all time. We're stepping back in time and out of the third dimension for our number 3 title on this list. During the great console wars between Sega Genesis and the Super Nintendo, and this game didn't just have Nintendo power, it had the power of the Force. Super Star Wars Return of the Jedi. When I was a youngling, Return of the Jedi was my favorite Star Wars film, so reliving my favorite moments again and again was totally wizard. Green was also my favorite color back in the day, so swinging around my son's green lightsaber was a space hoot. Thinking back on all the good times I had with this particular game gives me a warm, fuzzy feeling. Particularly the levels where you play as Wicket, since I was a big fan of the Ewoks. I must have put in the code for that stage a million times. So whether it was the thrilling speeder bike chase or piloting the Millennium Falcon, I returned to this super game many times. Before we go any further, if you're new to the channel, join the Empire today by subscribing. And you don't want to miss things like a stormtrooper, do you? Well, hit that bell for notifications so you never miss our weekly videos. And if you'd like to support what we're doing here, donate to our PayPal today and become a hero of the Empire. Any amount helps. Moving right along to the number 2 spot on my list is another game whose story I have already reviewed, Shadows of the Empire. I also have a gameplay video I made a while back. A link to those videos will be in the description. Shadows of the Empire has a special significance for me for a few reasons. It was the first Star Wars game I played after being introduced to the franchise. It also came along during the 3D revolution in gaming. So as you can well imagine, reliving the Battle of Hoth, facing off against Boba Fett and the Slave One on the moon of Gaul, while fighting IG-88 on Ord Mantell had a massive impact on me as a youngling. The game also had a totally wizard cheat code, Wampa Stompa, which allowed you to give yourself extra weapons and even take control of enemies. My brothers and I used this code to turn Shadows of the Empire into a co-op game, where a treacherous stormtrooper or a now domesticated Wampa would help Dash along his thrilling missions. Shadows of the Empire had the signature LucasArts touch, which made you feel like you were fully immersed in the world of Star Wars. From the music and sound effects, to the Lambda-class shuttles flying overhead, to the thrilling battles with the AT-ST Walker, this will always be one of my favorite Star Wars games of all time. And finally, taking the #1 spot on my list, Battlefront 2. The real Battlefront 2. Not that Battlefield reskin we got a couple years back from DICE and EA. From galactic conquest to hero matches, I spent hours on end fighting my way through the most iconic battles of the Star Wars saga. Whether capturing command posts on Utapau, playing as Darth Maul in a hero battle on Tatooine, or defending the cloning facility on Kamino, this game had it all. My very best memories of playing Star Wars games came from this title. And I have to say, if they re-released the original Battlefront 1 and 2, combined as one singular game, with updated modern graphics, Disney would make back the $4 billion they spent to buy Star Wars in a hurry. Call it Star Wars Battlefront, the Legacy Edition. Now that would be totally wizard. If Change.org petitions actually worked, I'd start one with that goal in mind. Especially if you had the option to play the game in VR, because I would love to be completely immersed in the Star Wars galaxy, playing the original Battlefront games with modern graphics. But that was my personal list of favorite Star Wars games I played as a youngling. Whether it's a game, playing with action figures, or just enjoying the films when they were released, what are your fond Star Wars memories from when you were a youngling? Let me know in the comments below. Let's reminisce and share our love for Star Wars. This has been Vader Reviews. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell for notifications. And follow me on Twitter @Vader Reviews. Join the Empire today. You do not yet realize your importance. Share these videos, and together we will rule the internet. And always remember, you don't know the power of the dark side.